Good morning. I want to thank you for joining me for Sex, Love, and Blissful Relationships with the Sage Renz. What are we going to talk about today? Is the fact of a basic understanding that I want you to have. That understanding is this: that at the end of the day, that your sex life, your intimate life, should be a replica of how you live your life. Now, for some people, your sex life is already a replica of how you live your life, but the question is, are you getting the most out of it? Are you getting the best of you out of it? Of course, we all want to believe and we all want to know and think that we are excellent, we are the dynamo when it comes to making love, when it comes to having sex. But the truth of the matter is that most of us are lacking in some area, some form, some fashion. You know, I myself, when I was a young man and I first started studying Tantra back in 1991, when it was first presented to me, I just went crazy because I was thinking like, yes, this is going to make me the man in bed. I'm going to learn all these different techniques and I'm going to, make my wife's head pop off. I'm going to be the man. And it was all based on lustful thoughts. It was all based on my ego. But guess what happened? In the process, as I learned to meditate, and I would sit there and every morning I would go through different types of meditations, and learning the different chakras and energy flows. And I would sit there, and the first meditation was very difficult because I would sit there and I would have all these thoughts coming through my head, and I knew that I need to get to a point of clarity. And as time went on, I started to be able to meditate with clarity. And the thing about it, there's an amazing thing that happens. When you learn to meditate, you learn to get your mind clear. When you learn how to meditate through Tantra, when you start understanding chakras, then when you start getting into deeper levels of it, you start understanding that the Kama Sutra is not just positions for pleasure, but they're positions for spiritual transference. Because in a relationship, when you're making love, it's about transferring your spirit to theirs. It's about you as the male utilizing your male energy and your female energy, and as the female using your female energy and your male energy to transfer back and forth. You see, you got to understand this, and this is one of the things I came to realize. And it took me some time to realize this because when I was going through this, there were no sages, there were no gurus that I had contact with. So I was alone on an island having to learn these things myself, going through experimentation after experimentation. There were times when people looked at me very strange. They're like, that guy's crazy. He's cuckoo. Like, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? Some chakras? Is he talking about meditations and the yoni and these different massages? And, he's talking about the yin yang. And I thought that was just good and evil. He's talking female, male energy. And, it just, their minds just couldn't conceptualize what I was talking about. Then it led me into the discovery of alchemy and raising my consciousness and raising my energy, raising my spirit to the point where it goes from lead to gold. And these are the ideas, the things that you want to be able to understand, because the reason why in India, the royalty and the prosperous were taught Kama Sutra and Tantra, because they understood that the way you make love is how you live your life. Let me give you a little bit here. You see, male energy in making love, males give, males put out, they deposit. Males take masculine form and they take leadership and they protect, they cover. The female energy, she receives, she nurtures, and then she births. But understand this, when I first started, I thought I had to be all male. And so when I made love all male. But as I grew and as my understanding took place, I started to realize that I must also make love female, that I must be able to receive, I must be able to nurture, and then I must be able to birth. And when you're able to do that, when you can switch places and that's what the positions help you do. You switch positions and switch places, and then you switch aggressive and passive. You start switching those things. You start to understand that you are now in your female energy. Now you're in your male energy, and you can go back and forth. And when you do this, what you find is bliss within the lovemaking. And now when you have that kind of bliss within the lovemaking, take that and transfer it out into life. That's sex transmutation. You transfer that energy, that thought, that process into life. If you're the boss, if you're a manager, if you own your own company, if you manage anyone, there are times where you have to be the male energy, and you direct and you deposit and you educate and you put in and you protect your employees. But then there are times where you have to be the nurturer. You receive information, you receive the ideas of your employees, you receive their comments, you nurture that, you nurture the employee, and then you birth out a new manager. You grow your employees. The same with your business. There are times when you nurture it, and there are times when you deposit into it. You see, sex is life. Sex is life. The problem is that in our Western cultures, we've turned it into only a lustful thing, or we've turned it only into a spiritual marriage thing, whereas it is actually a life thing. See, sex, love, and relationship, blissful relationships, it's about life. How you relate to everything. Relate to one another. Relate to your family. How do you relate to work? How do you relate to the society that you're in? How do you relate to yourself? And this is what we're going to be teaching. This is what we're going to continuously spread and encounter. Our goal is for each one of us to continuously, at no point do you become the knower of all, but to continuously grow, to continuously develop our metaphysical sexual lives, and have that be replicated into the rest of our life. Because the deal is this. Yes, you will learn how to be better in bed. You will learn to not shame your sex life. But at the same time, you will discover how powerful you are. You will discover that you can increase and grow. And you will also discover that when you take that into every other aspect of your life, that you will be blissfully happy and joyful. So this is your sage, Renz. Sex, love, and blissful relationships.